let's run this and see what we broke. Well, now it's going to be like, now that I did all of that, it's going to be like, oh, I'm not going to give you a consistent thing anymore. Okay, here we go. So actually, I got to ask it a new question now, right? So let's go back to our page. And now I don't have to do this, right? All I'll have to do is just give it an entry now. Today was a okay day, I guess. I found a new coffee shop that was cool, but then I got a flat tire. And I'll put a happy face just to really confuse it. just to really throw it off. Cool. Yeah, let's see what happens. And let me just, I don't know if that's the actual output or not, but I'm just going to refresh it just to make sure. See what happens here. Cool. Okay. So as you can see, here's all the things, which is really cool. So let's see where it starts. It did it twice, so I'm trying to see where it started. Okay, so here's the prompt that we made. Let me see if I can get to where it starts and where it ends. And yeah, I think it was here. So I think everything that I have highlighted is the prompt that got created. So you can see here's our thing at the top where we steered it. We gave it the instructions. And then the formatted instructions that we made with Zod schema, this is where it got inserted. It added, you must format your output as JSON value that adheres to a given JSON schema instance. JSON schema, and then it describes JSON schema. Remember I told you about one shot, zero shot, many shot? Okay, it's giving it an example. So it's helping it through examples. This is a classic way of helping LLMs. So it's like, here's an example of what a JSON schema instance would look like. And then saying, here's the schema, and then these properties would match this property. Thus, this object will be format, right? It's literally teaching it JSON, right? Imagine having to write this. It would be terrible. And then it's like, remember, your output will be parsed and type checked according to the provided schema instance. So make sure all the fields in your output match the schema exactly, and there will be no trailing commas. It's yelling at it, just like I was. And then it's like, cool, here is your JSON schema. It even and then put it in an enclosing markdown code block so you really can't mess this up. And then here's our JSON schema that got created through our Zod. And then it's like, okay, cool. So, and then it runs it. And then it spits back. You can see this is the prompt that I gave it. And then it spits back the formatted JSON exactly the way that we want it in a JSON code block, ready for us to parse. Beautiful. All right, so this is all just prompt engineering. You could have written this yourself, but people at LangChain are already doing it. So just use their thing.
Did you forget the subject?
Did I? Summary. Oh yeah, I did forget subject. Yeah, okay, we can add that. I guess there was one more. Did I have that in my code? My GitHub? And I just looked over it. Yeah, I did have it in my code. I just looked. It's like hidden. It's like right here. You can't really see it. Yeah, let's add the subject. And then I guess it's a good example to see like how it'll still work here, right? So we can say subject, c.string. And I think this one was actually pretty easy. You don't have to like do anything crazy. I just said the subject of the journal entry, right? This one's really simple. There we go. So we got that. Don't have to change anything else. Should just be able to run this again. I'll run up the same prompt and see what we get. There we go. We got our subject. Daily events. Found a new coffee shop, but got a flat tire. Neutral. I guess it figured it out. I guess it was neutral. It was pretty neutral. I thought that smiley face was going to throw it off and be like, oh, it was a good day. But no, I guess not. Yes.
Is 3.5 Turbo, as of like June 2023, is that like your kind of daily driver, like the default model when using OpenAI at least? Have you played around with others and have takeaways or recommendations?
Yeah, I'll probably use GPT 3.5 Turbo because it's the same thing with ChatGPT. So the difference between GPT 3.5 Turbo and regular GPT 3, I believe, actually, I could be wrong. They might have both went through this, but I know Turbo really went through this, is that they had reinforcement learning done to the model after it was trained through all the data from the internet. Human interaction reinforced learning, which basically just means the best way I can describe it is like if you go into ChatGPT and you do thumbs up, thumbs down, that's reinforcement learning, right? It's like looking at the output and being like, this was good, this was bad, and then feeding that back into it. Because the way a neural network works, a neural network has tons of different layers. Each layers is just a set of statistics in which a prediction crosses through. So like it determines what is the best statistically, what is the best path to go through to get some type of prediction. So in order for it to correct itself, it just goes back to those certain layers and readjusts those, it rebalances those statistics to have different numbers, right? So you might think of, a node in a neural network might have, can have a value between 0 and 1, right? And that's a statistic. So it just readjusts those to figure out how to get to the result that it needs to get to. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it as far as like, punishing the neural net. That sounds so bad, but like, yeah, you can reward it, you can punish it. There's like different things like that. So there's a whole lot in that. Highly recommend literally going through and building your own neural net in JavaScript. If you know Python, do it in Python. If you know JavaScript, do it in JavaScript. But it's a great learning experience.